Hey girlies, I am Danny the Teach. This is Beauty Manifested. I look a little crazy, but that's okay. I know you guys are gonna love me anyways. So if you made it here, I'm so happy. I'm so grateful to have you. This is a channel for storytelling. It would make sense for you to subscribe, and that way you can kind of get my full journey and understand my perspective. If you're just hopping on for this one video, I'm so happy to have you. That's perfectly fine. However, I just ask that you please don't leave any mean comments, because if you just hop on for one video, my perspective's not gonna make sense to you. And so it wouldn't really make sense for you to be mean in the comments. But if you do resonate with the video in any type of way, please do leave me a comment. I love having dialogue with y'all. That is the whole reason I do this. It's so much fun for me. I love talking to you in the comments. Anyways, so I'm going to start this off by saying this one's for the girls. And then next I'm going to say, excuse me, I have like a little sniffle. Okay, so I'm ovulating right now. And I know I'm ovulating because it's a few days after my cycle, and I know my body pretty well. And I also know because I have this guy in my life and I like him and I think he's cute. And I literally want to tell him every single thing about me. I want to tell him everything. I want to tell him like what I just ate. I want to tell him where I went. I want to tell him how I felt. I want to tell him everything. But I also want to be a cool girl and play it a little cool, so I'm gonna tell you guys instead. So I was thinking about anxiety, and I used to have anxiety. I've been talking about this a lot, but I'm a Virgo, and so Mercury placements tend to be anxiety prone. And I was thinking like, okay, well, how do I deal with my anxiety? God, faith, religion. That's the main thing. So I'm in a space where I am transitioning in my career. I'm not starting over. I'm transitioning. I'm moving to a new level. And so it feels a little overwhelming sometimes because one, there's so many directions I can go in. I've said this to someone before. It's like, you know, your parents always tell you like you can be anything you want to be, you can do anything you want to do, and I truly believe that like you absolutely can do anything that you want to do. But sometimes that, especially me, I feel like I come from like a very privileged background. I have so many opportunities afforded to me. I'm an American citizen. Like there's so much that comes with that. And so me being able to literally do everything and having so much just right at my disposal can sometimes cause analysis paralysis, because it's just like, how do I get it all done? And then I guess on the spiritual side of things, the way that I'll view it is like, slow down, be still, and commit to what's in front of you. Because specifically, this whole like overwhelm is pertaining to my career and my passions and my work life and how I'm going to develop there. And it's like, start somewhere, create mastery over that thing, and you have your whole life and your whole career ahead of you, and you'll be able to learn different things. Like, for example, I spent a few years really like pouring into my garden, spending hours and hours and hours in my garden. Now my garden is built and it's pretty much at a point where like it just doesn't require that much labor from me. I do a little bit of fertilizing, a little bit of planting. I have to, switch out the plants with each season, but it doesn't require like a lot of labor as it did in the beginning. And that's kind of how a lot of things are, especially businesses. In the beginning, it's a baby and it requires a lot of labor and care and attention. And then as it becomes more self-sustaining, you can move on to other things. And so I know that concept well, and I try to remind myself that as I'm now going into this new endeavor, because I'm breaking into tech, and I specifically want to be a master of project management, but that is also, so like tech is super broad, and then project management is a little bit more narrowed down, but still super duper broad. So that now I'm looking at like cybersecurity, GRC roles, which can overlap in the project management and things like that. But like literally there's so many things I could go into that sometimes it feels overwhelming. But I know the concept of like, okay, just find somewhere to start that you think is digestible, get really good at that, and you will move into the direction of something else. Once you feel really good about that, you can take on other things, and you literally have your whole life ahead of you. You don't have to do everything today at all. So there's no reason to feel overwhelmed. So that's like the logical side of things. And that's how I like rationally soothe my anxiety. But then also God, like God always. I can't have anxiety because my core belief is that I'm always in the right place at the right time. I'm always being divinely guided. Even as I walk through the pits of hell, God always had his hand in me. I can literally do no wrong because I am supported and there is someone bigger than me looking out for me. There's nothing to worry about. I'm completely safe. I'm completely protected. I am called. I'm anointed. I am blessed. There's nothing to worry about. And so that gives me an even deeper, like, soul peace. And that is pretty much like my strategy for combating anxiety. And I do believe that it's human for us. I mean, it's just an emotion. It's like, how do you combat sadness? Like, I don't really combat it. Like, I just realize, like, okay, I'm having a human experience. I'm a girl. Sometimes I feel sad. And that is I would call it, yes, it's an emotion, but for me, like, I would call it a reaction. So, like, I see a sad movie, then I feel sad. Someone says something maybe triggering to me, and then I feel sad. I usually don't feel sad about that kind of stuff. But, like, it just depends. Like, sometimes you experience disappointment, and then you feel sad. Like, it's a reaction that you have. And I feel like that's anxiety, too. So it's like, okay, sometimes you're presented with a lot of options, and then you feel anxious. Or sometimes you know what I mean. I don't have to over-explain it. You get what I'm getting at. It's just an experience that we have, anxiety. And that's why I just made a video yesterday, and I've made other videos before talking about how I don't believe in mental illness and how I feel like anxiety and depression are just like human emotions and human experiences, and we shouldn't classify it as like a disorder or something like that. But I kind of take that back. I do believe that people can have like chronic anxiety to the point that it's absolutely debilitating. And so that's something else. I don't have that. That's not what I have. I just experience like bits of anxiety throughout my day and in larger, more frequently in certain seasons of my life. But I've developed some pretty good like ways to cope with it, and I feel pretty good about it, honestly. God first, always. God will carry you through everything. Hand your anxiety, hand your worry, like all that heaviness that you feel on your shoulders, hand it over to God and be light. Because it's just, if it's too much for you, let him handle it. Like he's got it. All right. And then just like rationalizing. And I don't know if that works for everybody, but for me, like just applying logic to things helps. Like I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling anxiety. And I just like think about it like for real. Like, okay, first of all, how is this anxiety serving me? Oh, it's not? Throw it away. Throw it away. Like literally, and that's how I combat a lot of things. And my friend was laughing at me. She's like, how do you get into that so fast? I'm like, because immediately I realized it doesn't make sense. Like the other day I was telling her, I was at the airport and I was with a guy and then he had dropped me off and then I was alone. And so the first time I was at the airport, like when I was traveling too, I had like pretty much a caretaker. Like I had a man taking care of me the whole time and it was wonderful. But on the way back, I didn't have that. So it was just me. I was just out there. It was just me and God. I'm never alone, but physically right there, like it was no man with me. So I was like, oh my gosh, I guess I have to go through this. And then I saw a beautiful, wonderful queen, a goddess, a lovely woman. And she was with her fiance and he was being such a sweet man. He was guiding her. He was holding her hand. He was just doing everything. She didn't have to do anything. He was taking care of her and it was just wonderful. And my reaction to that, first I was like, oh my God, they're so cute. I love them. And then I felt safe because like he was guiding her and then I was just following them because I was like, let me just go wherever he's taking her because clearly he knows what he's doing. But then my reaction after that was like loneliness. Like I was feeling like, well, when am I gonna have my fiance? And I'm all alone and nobody likes me. And, like, woe is me. Like that's how I start feeling. I was feeling really lonely. And then I let myself feel that for a little while. That's how I always, like my first thing, because I try not to like push down my emotions. So I was like, I feel really lonely right now. Sat with it. And I was like, okay, well, why are you lonely? Like, what can we do about it? And I was like, well, There's no reason to feel lonely because there's people all around you. You have your cell phone. You can call and text anyone who you want to. You have your Bible app on your phone. You can get with God. You can close your eyes and meditate. You can pray. Like, if I really wanted to, I could go make a friend. I could walk up to a man at the airport and say hello. You know, like, there's like so many things that I could do. And so that honestly made me feel better. And I think I did. The option I chose is I pulled out my Bible app and I just started reading my Bible. And that was that. Like, sometimes you're going to feel lonely, and that's okay. And I allow myself to feel that, and I don't shame myself for feeling that. But I also realize that those feelings are kind of misplaced, and I'm exactly where I need to be. There's nothing I need to rush. If I was supposed to be there with my fiance, I would have been there with my fiance, but I was there alone, and so I'm supposed to be there alone. And I'm just open to opportunities. Like, maybe today's the day I'm gonna meet a sweet man, and this will happen and that'll happen. I'll be taken away. Like, I just trust that it's working out exactly how it's supposed to be. And I don't wish for things to be different than they are. Did I feel a little sad in that moment? Did I feel a little lonely in that moment? Yes. But at the same time, like, once I sit with it, I realize, like, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Like, I don't want to trade lives with anybody. Like, was that girl so cute in the airport? Yeah. Do I want to be her? No. I love my life. I love my journey. I love my path. I trust that God's taking care of me. I don't want my life to be any different than it is. Period. And it's evolving and unfolding perfectly on time. And I'm excited and I'm grateful and enthusiastic of the unfolding of my life. Like, it's so much fun. I feel like I'm watching an amazing movie, a romantic comedy or something. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. And so that's how I rationalize my emotions. I think this is all I'm going to say on that. I love you guys so much. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day. If you made it this far in the video, leave me a heart in the comments. My heart goes out to you. I love you so much. I feel so grateful. Be blessed. Be beautiful. And I'll see you soon. Peace.